born and raised Billings, Montana, but I got to Charleston 14 years ago, and after graduating in finance and economics, knew I wanted to do something in the business world, and graduated in a degree in finance and economics. And after spending about 10 years in the banking and financial services industries, I really saw where that industry was going and a niche in the marketplace that it was no longer able to fill, especially after Dodd-Frank passed and just some of the restrictions that they had in getting capital in the street. At the same time, a lot of my civic activities were around entrepreneurship and small businesses, and when I combined the two and realized the need for growing entrepreneurship in the area and the lack of options that many small businesses had if you didn't have a rich uncle or dad to help get you going, that those options were pretty slim. So we sought out to create a mechanism to give people who wanted to contribute to the economy and contribute to entrepreneurship an opportunity to do so, at the same time giving entrepreneurs access to additional capital. The site, fundingcharleston.com, is a local crowdfunding site that allows for a business that is looking to expand, grow, even start. They can put their project up on the site, and then it gives, think of historically the old friends and family capital raise scenario where you'd ask your cousins, your uncle, your parents, here's my idea, here's my concept, here's where I want to go, would you support it, help chip in to make this happen? It takes that model and expands it to your entire social network using your entire Facebook following and email distribution list to say, here's where I'm going with my business, will you chip in to help make it happen? Well, it really gives, it forces the entrepreneur to hone in on their messaging and say, and develop and craft how they tell their story, because they've got to create a compelling enough story to where someone who sees it says, okay, I like it, I'm behind it, grabs their wallet and contributes. So it forces the entrepreneur to raise their game a little bit, and that if they're not telling a compelling enough story, then they're not going to get folks to contribute. And that's a good test for them in business in general. I mean, there's a lot of competition out there in just about any industry you're looking at. So it forces them to get better at their business by running the campaign as well. Yeah, so the Jobs Act that passed in April of 2012 was the catalyst to really open up a lot of these mechanisms. Now, what's interesting about where we're at with that legislation is that the SEC is still to rule on the Jobs Act. So in terms of it being an equity play, that is still, there's a lot of people waiting to see how that is going to function. So for now, folks on the site can go and put their project out there, and they can make contributions, and many of the projects will offer some sort of a reward for the contribution. The functionality and the emotional side of it is the same, in that it really gives the community an opportunity to look at the businesses that are growing and contribute to their success and really create momentum around the businesses that they want to see thrive in the community. And that's why this platform is designed to be really a hyper-local platform, in that those users will be able to take advantage of the business down the street that are actually trying to raise the capital. You really can leverage your entire social network to get that more and more of those friends to chip in, and even at a micro amount, $10, $15, $25, it all adds up to be a significant portion. Combine that with the fact that instead of having, let's say, one investor at $10,000, you've now got 50 or 100 people who, even if they've contributed $10 or $20, have a vested interest in your success. They feel a part of growing your business, and therefore they're going to be champions for your business out in the community. They're going to be really excited about shopping there or using your product or getting other people to go shop there or use your product. Most crowdfunding campaigns fund in the $2,000 to $5,000 range. So we're talking about some seed capital to really leverage and get going. The average contribution runs right in the $50 range. So you're talking about small levels, multiple people who are contributing small levels to get your project off the ground. Not being a tech guy, the creating the site itself, certainly there were challenges there because it's not my specific background. And then navigating the legal environment to such that what we offer we know can be done. There's so much more that many people want to do, and that's why there's a lot of buzz around this industry, because just like you asked earlier, the idea of putting $50 or $100 and that being a little stake in the company and having the ability to get $100 back, that's really exciting. So while it's very, very attractive that's where we hope the industry is headed, at this time just using what we know can be done and leveraging that and getting people to start using it and understanding the industry. Those who are already in business end up doing a little bit better with these campaigns, and it's a great way for an established brand to engage their customers, their brand loyalists, as I call them, in the process of where they're taking their company. So think about it. If you've got an established brand, established company that does what it does, but now you're going to pivot and launch a new product or a new process. Everybody likes to feel like they're on the ground floor and are the first to hear about it. So by doing a crowdfunding campaign to help engage your entire customer base and brand following in where you're taking your business, you're letting those 100 people in on the ground floor of what you're doing, and they're going to be champions for it before you've even launched it. Gives you a heightened probability of success when now you've got that whole grassroots community that are excited about where you're taking your business. Well, one of the just emotionally satisfying projects that funded was the Mount Zion Elementary School that wanted to send a class to the zoo up in Columbia and didn't have the funds to do it. Well, within 10 days, they were able to raise the funds to go ahead and do that. The Bottles and Brushes Brush Bus is one of my favorite projects out there right now, in that they've done a great job of doing what we were talking about for an established brand, of engaging their brand loyalists in the whole process of where they're doing with their business. And the same thing with the Coast Brewery project. They're expanding their operation, and they have a great following, and it's been really fascinating to watch that process, even when they put something out on Facebook, boom, to see how many people are actually on the site looking at their project and contributing to their campaign.